nation. This was the dramatic takeover by the new nation's own green and white flag.
This is the network service of the NTA.
They say every day is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let's join hands with ICPC, make it better.
Let's make Nigeria great again.
ICPC, they want to.
Come on, hand for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
The Parliament, which is the collective expression of the people's will, is imbued with the supreme task of creating clear and fair legislations, including efficient public oversight. It also, amongst other duties, deliberates upon matters of national importance and public interest. Therefore, its role in the successful prosecution of anti-corruption wars cannot be overemphasized. Welcome to Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am Hawa Garba. Today on the program, we shall look at how, together with the Parliament, we can strengthen the fight against corruption. But first, Ruth is standing by with updates on happenings around the world of the Commission. Hope Ruth.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Ruth Audi. ICPC has quizzed top management staff of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. That would be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues with Hawa. Stay with us.
are just tuning in, this is Corruption Must Go. The focus is together with the Parliament against corruption. In its efforts to engender a participatory approach to the fight against corruption, the Commission had earlier in the year held a retreat with members of the National Assembly in Ibadan, Oyo State, to brainstorm on how ICPC can perform optimally in its mandate of the fight against corruption. ICPC Chairman Professor Bolaji Owasonye speaks on the retreat.
I wish to recall that the ICPC, as the apex body invested with responsibility to fight corruption and offences in Nigeria, was set up by its enabling statute in the year 2000, and its first board inaugurated in September 2000. The headquarters of the Commission is located in Abuja, and this year is our 20th anniversary. And indeed, this ceremony and this activity is one of the key activities of our 20th anniversary. The Commission has power to set up offices in the 36 states of the Federation, including Abuja, and to cascade down to local councils over time for effective coverage and implementation of its mandate. From inception until now, we have been operating in 15 functional state offices scattered around the 6 geopolitical zones, and each state office covers a contiguous state where we do not have an office. A number of these state offices are operating in rented apartments. Apart from the amount that they were spending on rent, the premises were not suitable for a law enforcement agency because it was not purpose-built, and it lacked quite a number of necessary features for the discharge of our mandate. It was therefore imperative that in the fullness of time we will have to develop our own suitable design and develop property in all the states where we have offices, but of course subject to overcoming the major challenge of getting land. To reverse this trend of operating from rented offices, the Commission designed the prototype for the construction of complexes befitting its status, and in 2017, the National Assembly graciously appropriated funds for the construction of the ICPC prototype office complex in Oyo State. Let me, through the chairman of our committees in the National Assembly, Senator Abuja and Senator Nicholas Gawashiu, to thank the National Assembly for appropriating funds that led to the building of this office. Can you give them a round of applause? However, I must say that the fight against corruption is the collective responsibility of every well-meaning Nigerian. It is a responsibility that must be discharged by all tiers and organs of government. This commissioning ceremony is an example of how the agencies and tiers of government can collaborate in the fight against corruption. The Commission has concluded plans to devolve its enforcement and prevention actions to other tiers of government in line with our statutory powers and the government's reform measures. States and local governments will feel the impact of ICPC effort in a more strategic manner to ensure that public funds are available and used for the good of the people. In this regard, we intend to commence system studies at sub-national levels in the fullness of time. With this permanent structure in Oyo State, I wish to urge the government and the good people of Oyo State to continue to collaborate with ICPC and to in fact own the fight against corruption, as anti-corruption agencies alone cannot effectively win this fight without the cooperation of the sub-national levels. I want to encourage everybody to report all acts of corruption to the ICPC. With the commissioning of the building and others that will follow later this year, I have no doubt in my mind that we'll be able to do much more better than we have been able to do in the past 1 year in office. While we're in Oyo State, the board and management of ICPC will have a strategic retreat with the leadership and members of the National Assembly Committee on Anti-Corruption, both of the Senate and of the House of Rep, with the ICPC board members and the management to build and to deepen the synergy in the fight against corruption. As a popular late politician, Abiola would say you cannot clap with one hand. So we need the cooperation of everybody, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary in order to succeed.
Speaking at the retreat in Ibadan, Chairman Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, Senator Suleiman Kori, and his counterpart from the House of Representatives, Mr. Garba Nicholas Shehu, pledged that the National Assembly would prioritize anti-corruption legislation in the fight against corruption. Let us find out the various efforts the Nigerian Parliament is putting in place to expand the anti-corruption fight.
Thank you very much, for giving me this opportunity to, congratulate Nigerians on the milestone of the attainment of 60 years of independence, and also congratulate the ICPC for attaining 20 years since its establishment. There's no doubt that this is a milestone in the life of the country, and of course a milestone in the life of the Commission. We want to commend the Commission for what it has accomplished, especially under the current board and management. There's no doubt that the ICP's profile has been raised very high by the current management, especially through its activities. And I want to commend the board for this accomplishment. With regard to the role that the National Assembly can play, there no doubt that the National Assembly, being a very important arm of government, has a role to play in supporting the fight against corruption. Because corruption all over the world, I think, is a disease that is fought with all the tools that are available. Because corruption deprives the nation, deprives the citizenry of development, deprives them of the basics of everyday life. And where it is allowed to thrive, I think the country and the economy hardly fares very well. And that is why it is important that corruption is fought. And this is not only unique to Nigeria, I think it's the world over. Even in developed society, I think there's a continuous effort to ensure that the citizens really get the best of the resources of the country by ensuring that corruption is mitigated. I mean, you may not be able to eliminate it completely, but I think it can be reduced to the barest minimum. And I think in this regard, I think the National Assembly is ready, to work with the ICPC, to ensuring that it attains or achieves its goal, especially as it faces the next decade. Thank you very much. I think before I comment on that, I also wanted to throw more light, because there's been a lot of misconception regarding constituency projects. No legislator, whether a senator or a member of the House of Representatives, is given money directly for the execution of project. Because I've had people, allege that members receive this money and they don't see it, in the form of project in the constituency. Nobody receives money from constituency project. What the government does is to give an opportunity for a senator to nominate or to propose projects for his constituency up to a certain limit. And when that is done or approved, when the budget is approved, I think the execution of this project is domiciled with the ministries and agencies of government. And the execution or non-execution cannot be placed at the doorstep of the senator or the member of the House of Representatives, because he doesn't have a responsibility. So if you do have abuses in the process, then it has to be with the collusion of the executing agency. The essence of constituency project is to ensure that all constituents, all constituencies in the country have the benefit of the federal government budget. Because in the absence of constituency project, you have situation where in the whole year that a constituency or even a senatorial zone doesn't have a field of the federal government. Because projects are designed and implemented largely by the executive. And most of the time without inputs, from any form of, collaboration with the grassroots. And that's what gives rise to the issue of constituency project. We might have had abuses in the process. There's no doubt there could have been abuses in the process. And I think we are all in tandem with the ICPC that every kobo that is voted in the budget, for the benefit of Nigerians, I think such benefits, will be enjoyed by them. So if there are abuses, I think we all have a responsibility to examine where the weaknesses are and what we can do, to ensure that we can improve on the execution of this project. And I believe there is no senator, there is no member of the House of Representatives that will not subscribe, to this goal of ensuring that his constituency gets the benefit of this constituency project. We have followed the effort that the ICPC has, been, showing in its bid to ensure that these things is done properly. Like I said, there's no doubt that there could have been abuses in the past. I think working together, we can improve on the process. We want to stress that the ICP should take the National Assembly, as a partner, having the same objective, which is, improving on the lives of Nigerians. And if we see this as a common goal, I think we should be able to work together to improve on the delivery of this project. Yes, we want to commend Nigeria for attaining the milestone of 60 years of independence. I think 60 years in the life of every country is a long period. We also want to commend the ICPC for attaining 20 years since its establishment. The agency has come a long way, and in recent past, I think it has really, succeeded in making Nigeria, appreciate the role that it is playing. And we want to commend the board and management for what it's been doing over the past, couple of years, and to also assure the agency that the National Assembly is equally interested, and has the same goal, like the agency, which is to, reduce, the cases and incidences of corruption, so that Nigeria, can have the benefits of the scarce resources that we have. That's the only way we can improve in the lives of our citizenry, and we're really ready, to partner with them, and we want to assure them that as it's embarked on a journey over the next years, next decade, I think they should consider the National Assembly as a worthy partner, in this journey.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Section 15, subsection 5 of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution, as amended, empowers states to abolish corrupt practices and abuse of power. In order to get the states involved in deepening the fight against corruption, ICPC, through its academy, has conducted series of anti-corruption trainings for legislators of the 36 states of the Federation. As part of the collaborative efforts in the fight against corruption, the ICPC chairman was also a guest speaker at the 9th National Assembly Induction Program for new legislators in 2019. Speaking on the theme of de-induction, the legislator and fight against graft and corruption, the ICPC boss spoke on the need to collaborate to fight corruption, emphasizing the controversial issue of constituency projects.
As we observe safety measures, and support our health and frontline workers in fighting COVID-19, corruption, abuse of power, diversion, and misuse of public funds approved for mitigating the impact of coronavirus must be exposed. Be a coronavirus whistleblower. Report abuse in the management of COVID-19 fund and palliative to ICPC on toll-free number 0800 2255 4272 or AfricMail on 0811 877 1666. Email tips@corruptionanonymous.org. This message is from the African Center for Media and Information Literacy, AfricMail, in partnership with ICPC, supported.
Corruption is a two-way street. Until the party who accepts, solicits, or extorts payment or services agrees with the party who offers payment in exchange for a promise to circumvent the law for personal advantage, corruption will not take place. It therefore means that together as a people, we can stop corruption. That's our package on today's edition. Remember, you can make inquiries and suggestions via our toll-free numbers as shown on the screen. You can also watch the program on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/ICPC Nigeria. Stay safe from COVID, stay safe from corruption. See you next week, God willing.